next, and President Zelensky has said 31,000 Ukrainian troops have been killed so far during the war with Russia, the first time in many months that the figure has been revealed. He said tens of thousands of civilians in the Russian-occupied territories had also died. Speaking at a news conference to mark Saturday's second anniversary of Russia's invasion, Mr. Zelensky said he couldn't reveal the number of people injured because that information would help Russia, but the loss was very painful. He was hopeful of a peace summit in the spring and was sure the US Congress would pass its aid package for Ukraine.
All right, so 1 second, because that's prophecy, all this death that's going on. The aid package is prophecy also because the U.S. is sending aid in the billions of dollars to Ukraine, but not taking care of its own citizens. This second Ezra, chapter 15, verse 1, Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people, the blacks/Native Americans, which are the Israelites according to the Bible, the words of prophecy which I will put in thy mouth, said the Lord, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. Right, that's why we got the scriptures now here today. That's why we got the book now here today, because it was written. Fear not the imagination against thee, let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee. Right, so in the imaginations, it means don't be worried about what people say they're going to do unto you. The imagination that they, say they're going to kill you and stuff like that, bring harm unto you. You ain't supposed to be scared of that. Let not the incredulity, the unbelief of them trouble thee that speak against thee, right? So you have people that scoffing against us, man, woman, and child, and you're not supposed to be troubled by that because, the Lord not waking up everybody, only waking up his elect, man. For all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness, right? So you have people dying just because they don't believe what you say. And this is happening all over the world because the truth is really kind of scattered all over the world by now, because you got you got camps that then rose up all over the world, man. And then you got guys like Nate that then went certain places in the world and stuff like that, even though he doesn't have the full truth. That's the Lord still pushing out his word. A lot of brothers will be able to tell you that they came in the word by hearing it from like Nate and them first and following Nate and them, and then they came to GMS, man, or went to GMS. And then you got brothers that probably didn't go to GMS. They just went out there on their own, but followed the teachings of GMS, man. It says, 2 Ezra 15:4, for all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. Behold, said the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. Right, and that's what you see going on in this case, the death and destruction that's going on. This is Bible prophecy that's going on, man. That's happening, man. The ultimate destruction gonna be the destruction of America, but you got all this death going on. You got all these wars and stuff going on, which is Bible prophecy. And this has been being taught through the Spirit of Prophet Shema Shai from the apostles on down, starting all the way back to Abba Bivens, And now we got it now today through the apostles, man. The apostles of GMS. Ecclesiastes 3:1, to everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven, right? A time to be born and a time to die. And there's a lot of people being born, there's a lot of people dying. A time to plant and a time to pluck up that which is planted. Eventually America is going to be plucked up because this war with Russia and Ukraine is starting a whole bunch of other conflicts and everything. And their little conflict thing might not never die now, which can lead to the Battle of Armageddon, man. Just another type of war, but the war that's going to lead to the Battle of Armageddon is when Iran and Israel, get into it, and America get involved, and Russia get involved. Roughly paraphrasing it, man. But that's going to be the start of the Battle of Armageddon. It says, I'm going to jump. Verse 8, a time of love and a time of hate, a time of war and a time of peace. We're living in a time of hate and a time of war. We're not living in a time of peace. It's not going to be no peace until the kingdom of heaven is established. And that's even in the scriptures, man. The Lord going to destroy all the weapons of the other nations and put them in captivity, So that's what you see going on here, man.
Cannot lose. What will mean if Ukraine loses? It means there will be no us in existence. Definitely this is not the end of our existence that we like. If Ukraine loses, if it becomes complicated, the number of victims, it will depend on you, on our partners, on the Western world. If we are strong with the weapons that we get, this or that, we won't lose the war. We will prevail.
President Zelensky, well, there's been Ukrainian criticism of Western support because some allies were failing to live up to their commitments they've made about weapons deliveries. There are reports of shortages of ammunition and other material, and Russian invaders advancing on parts of the long front line. Ukraine's defense minister, Rustem Umerov, said half of the promised assistance was arriving late, and that every time that happened, Ukraine lost people and territories.
At the moment, commitment doesn't constitute delivery. 50% of commitments are not delivered on time. So which means that in the mathematics of war, we look to the enemy. Their economy is almost 2 trillion. They use up to 15% official and unofficial budget to the war, which constitutes over 150 billion US dollars. So annually, it's officially. So basically, whatever committed that doesn't come on time, we lose people, we lose territories.
Ukraine's defense minister, Yuri Sakin, advisor to Ukraine's strategic industries minister, agreed that delays in receiving Western support were costly.
Of course, we have always been, on the one hand, very grateful to our partners for the support that we're receiving, but at the same time, we have always stressed that the delays in the supply of ammunition, any delays in the supply of any weapon systems, results in higher casualties, higher rate of losses. So when we urge our partners to provide these weapons and ammunition faster, we're not criticizing them. We're just stipulating the fact. Time is weaponized by Russia, and we have to be conscious of that. This is why Ukraine has already started to produce our own ammunition. We are building up our own defense industry sector and defense industry base. But of course, we are still heavily reliant on the support of our Western partners, time is of essence.
And how crucial will it be for the US billions that are currently tied up in the debate in the House of Representatives for you to have over the coming months?
On the one hand, we've always said that, if there is no support coming to Ukraine, of course, for us it's a war of survival, so we will continue the fight with brooms and sticks if we have to. But as our President, Mr. Zelensky, said just today, he said that, will Ukrainians survive? Yes, we will, but not all of us. So that needs to be borne in mind. It's all about the cost that has to be paid, because we are committed to continuing to defend the values of free Europe and free world. We continue to fight this war. We're not asking our partners to send, their soldiers and their boots on the ground, but we are asking for weapons. We are asking for financial support because it's about our survival, and our survival, by extension, will impact the future of European countries and of the world at large.
Sometimes I can get a little excited when I'm watching.
All right, Salakia. 1 Samuel chapter 2, verse 6. It says, the Lord Yahweh killeth and maketh alive. He bringeth down to the grave and bringeth up. Right? So the Lord determined if you die or not. The Lord Yahweh maketh poor and maketh rich. He bringeth low and lifteth up. right, man? So the Lord determines, the wealth of the nations, the wealth of the people, and in their case, they don't have enough money and to afford these things, but the U.S. is trying to fund them in order to suppress Russia. Russia is against a lot of these elites in these other countries, not just Russia, are against the New World Order, and then shit. That's basically long story short, man. But that's basically long story short. Russia not going to let the U.S. Suppress them nor surround them, which is going to lead to the Battle of Armageddon. What's going on is like proxy wars between Russia and the U.S. using aid in Ukraine. So but next is the kingdom of heaven. These events are just leading to the kingdom of heaven. And this is Ezekiel chapter 21, verse 27. I will overturn it, and it shall be no more until he come whose right it is, and I will give it him. Right, the rightful owner of the world is the Israelites, starting with Yahweh, then Yahweh Shai, this goes elect of Israel in this case, and then the rest of Israel. And the rest of the nations are going into captivity and being made tributaries unto the nation of Israel. And then after 1,000 years, Esau is going to be exterminated. But these are the beginning events uh, that's leading up to that, man. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and end it right there. I kind of forgot the precept I was going to bring out. But with that being said, man, things are not going to cool down. They're only going to heat up. And then Russia might eventually end up taking Ukraine. Just only the future is going to tell. With that being said, man, Shalom.